You know, some things are just best left unsaid. Corey Holcomb goes in on Ciara for scolding Jim Jones and his relationship, telling him he needs to get married. Where do you get off telling anybody what they need to do to get married? In public, on top of that. You had a public event and you're going to tell somebody that? She's lucky it went this way because it could have went real bad.
If you're married to a woman, it is my opinion she should never do this. Can we play the video from the beginning? Right there? Play that.
Guys, how are y'all? I got my crotch.
Hold up on it. Don't sit down.
Oh, come on, because we need
BET Awards, on the interview, on the radio, look like.
I don't want to be mad at me because I don't know how you even feel, but I really need y'all to just go ahead and I'm coming in hot. No. Should I just stay on what I'm on right now? Yeah, I'm stay on it because why not? Why not? Like y'all have lived life in every capacity anyone could live it in. You're living like you've already done it. So let's just seal it properly.
Wow.
Seal it properly because you know what? He deserves it. You deserve it. Why not? Like I look at y'all and I'm like, they're so cute and so fly. Chrissy is so beautiful and so dope, and she holds you down, like down, down, down.
Where did she get off?
Let me tell y'all something.
Corey,
That's
about to
Ciara,
go.
married to the quarterback, Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she's his wife, right? This woman just interrupted an interview, interjected her opinion,
right.
as she talking to another man. You see how he looking? He's trying to be respectful. Right. Everybody trying to be respectful because it's Ciara.
Right.
He looks so uncomfortable.
Don't he look? He's trying to be cool.
God.
Jim Jones trying to be a good guy.
He's biting his
Let me
lip.
tell you something, man. There's no way you can protect a woman who's bold enough to do that.
Wow.
And this is stuff that is just not taught to people. You cannot protect a woman that will interrupt an interview like this, sit her funky ass down, and start speaking to another man about marriage.
Right.
We don't understand how important this is. We know everything about Russell Wilson just by watching that right there.
Wow.
You have no control of your woman. Your woman has no respect for you because I don't care if you're not with her. Russell Wilson is probably trying to be at camp getting ready for the NFL season.
Yeah.
He couldn't make it to the BET Awards this year. Your woman ain't got no business stopping an interview, sitting on a couch with some men she don't know, and then start telling another man about what he supposed to do with a woman.
Right.
Now, we act like this ain't serious, but this is one of the breakdowns of society. This is foul behavior from anybody's wife.
Man,
If that was my wife, I would be so mad. We would have a real issue with. Do you see Jim Jones?
Yeah.
These are some good guys, man.
I am so curious to see what he said. I'm gonna have to look.
I mean, he tried to be a good guy. But I'm gonna tell you something for those who will listen.
It's just embarrassing for the most part. Like it's really embarrassing for her to put him on the spot like that, especially when he didn't come there for that. He doesn't realize. He's like, oh, she's jumping into our interview. I wonder what she's going to talk about. And then she lays on him how inadequate he is for not marrying his wife, his child's mother, his girlfriend for all these years. It doesn't seem like she would do that to another woman. Because it might have been a cat fight in there. But as a man, Jim Jones, Jim Jones was a wild boy for a while. Seems like he's matured and come to a place where he's actually able to process and register what's happening, what Ciara's talking about. But yeah, man, it's crazy.
Especially the women that's watching the show. You don't need to represent yourself and your husband like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have basically, like if you married, right?
Yeah.
We know she got a baby by Future and all like that, and we've heard stories about, the son had to be around Russell Wilson.
Right.
Yeah, what if he was like, why didn't you marry Future? You talking to me, why didn't you marry Future? How about that? You didn't marry him. You got a stepdaddy now in his place, and you got your kid around him.
And all that. It just basically shows that your husband a simp because of how you represent him
Wow.
in the streets. You don't walk up, I'm talking to the women of the world, you don't impose yourself in conversations, whether it's an interview, whether it is a man who, if you in public and you married, let's say a man started talking to you. Do you know the first thing you're supposed to tell that man? Sir, I'm married and,
I'm spoken for.
I'm spoken for, yeah.
Yeah.
Please, woo, woo, woo. But some people would be like, that's if he flirting with you. But if you see two men.
As a woman, you're a representation of your man. Yeah. So I don't want to hear nobody in the comments talking about, oh, Corey, he's just talking, he's misogynistic. No. What he's saying is 100% fact. If you are in fact married to somebody, you are a representation of that person and you should behave as such.
And they're talking about a case that all three of y'all was in. You're not supposed to walk up to them men and interject yourself in the conversation, especially if you don't know them.
Nope. You're putting your husband in danger because what if that man doesn't take too kindly to what you're saying? And then what if he's a man that has a different threshold of what a woman is supposed to be doing in his nature? What if he's a nigga that beats up?
What if it
Now
wasn't
you
Jim Jones?
now you put your man in a position where he might have to kill it.
Craig, I'm sorry.
Russell Wilson ain't pulling up on Jim Jones no time soon. I don't think. Russell has been getting loose these last few years since he was at the Steelers, and he's going to play at the Giants now, I think. Russell Wilson, right? Didn't he go to the Giants? You're going to be in New York, New Jersey. You're going to have to stand on business. Totally unnecessary. Like, you ever seen these videos or seen a fight where a woman is mouthing off to a dude and he said, hey, real calm. He says, hey, where your husband at? No, better yet, where's your father at? I don't hit women. You put him on the spot in a way. Wait, Jim Jones is taking it good right there, but what if he felt like his ego was bruised? What if he was a less evolved Jim Jones? Then you really put Russell in a bad position and you don't even realize it. You don't even realize it. I guess she's thinking she's a celebrity. And it's not like he reached out and hugged her and was like, oh, this is somebody I know. This is my baby sis, Ciara. Oh, you want to give us some advice? Nah, it's not that.
So glad you said it, because see, one day Craig was like, Corey, you got to give me information about what we're going to talk about on the show. The reason I don't give Craig information about what we're going to talk about on the show, because I want him to speak from the heart. He knows if your woman is breaking the ice with conversations with men in public, she is putting y'all in a bad position. I know this sounds crazy to a lot of you modern women. You are supposed to conduct yourself like a lady, and I know you have no idea what a lady is, so please do some research on conducting yourself like a lady.
Yeah, it just seems like Ciara watches too much TV. She was watching Love and Hip Hop, and she thought she knew everything about these characters from Love and Hip Hop. So when she gets the opportunity to meet Jim Jones, she's going to give him a piece of her mind. Jim Jones don't know who the hell you are. In fact, I know this is a older Jim Jones, but Jim Jones, at least at one point, was kind of a dangerous individual. Like, you just didn't want to be pulling up on him in the wrong situation. I've met Jim Jones, and I can attest to this. I met Jim Jones in the early 2000s, so I know. It was disrespectful in itself, and I'm sure the host saw you walk by and offered you to come over, but jumping in there, just read the room a little bit. Don't just, like she said, coming in too hot. Don't come in too hot. You had no reason to come in too hot. You supposed to be Ciara. You should be used to this, right? But I noticed that a lot of celebrities from the early 2000s who were in music that aren't as popping right now. They have a desire to make viral moments, and they do it in some of the most like heavy-handed ways. And it seemed like that's what Ciara was trying to do. Because you easily could have pulled Jim Jones to the side. If that's what you was feeling, be like, hey, man, I'm a great fan of your work on Love and Hip Hop. I love your family's life. And it was just on my heart, or God told me to impart this message to you, that is your wife. And Chrissy is the best thing in your life. And you should make sure to put a ring on her finger for whatever reason. But that is a private conversation. Why do it publicly? Why are we seeing that conversation? When you at a BET Awards and it should be light and playful and red carpet, type interviews, like nobody's expecting to hit that subject matter. And it looked like Jim Jones was feeling that way too. He was like, what in the hell? He's like, I would have been looking at the host like, you're not going to stop this? Like, dog, but after it comes out, it comes out. So now it's an issue. But it looks like Jim Jones actually responded to Ciara and her moment there. The ecstasy artist Ciara encouraged the Harlem native to seal the deal with Lampkin properly. And she did say, she said, I look at y'all and y'all are so fly. Lampkin is so beautiful and dope. And she holds you down like down, 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 she exclaimed. This is a spirit talking through me right here. That's what I was saying. I'm telling you, she was doing her kind of preacher thing. When I see y'all from a love perspective, y'all touch so many people. It's time. It looks like Jones had a response to the married singer expressing how he needed to hear those words in a recent interview with the Breakfast Club's Lauren LaRosa. He said, and just like I suspected, he said, I felt like I got scolded by somebody that was younger than me, he joked to the host. It was a great piece of advice. Honestly, I needed that encouragement. I needed to hear that, especially for somebody who's active in preaching what she's teaching. You know what I mean? My situation has been going better than a lot of things that have been going on out here. If you recall, Lampkin proposed to Jones for a season finale of Love and Hip Hop New York and ultimately ended up ceasing any further wedding plans and remain an item without the ring. Yeah, so they actually did respond. Jim Jones actually did respond, and I guess he took it positively. He did the public-facing thing that he should, but it still doesn't excuse kind of the inappropriateness of the moment. I don't know, Ciara. You might want to, it does seem like she's running that relationship in a way. Because certain things that happen, like she wants to dress naked on the red carpet one year and Russell got to be cool with that. And, she wants to do a song about single ladies and all this stuff. And people are scratching their head like, aren't you married? Like, what's going on? So, yeah, Ciara just needs to kind of relax. She's doing too much. Ciara got caught up in the moment right there. Because of the TV and, probably knowing a lot about their lives. That's kind of the problem about being on these reality shows is that you're running into people who know more about you than you do perhaps about them, because you've seen every twist and turn of this relationship. They've been together for years and they got children and everything. For whatever reason, whatever's going on in their household, they have decided not to get married. That's their right. And especially with it going on this long, I don't know who Ciara thinks she is to come into this household that has been established, this agreement that has been established, and then impose her own personal beliefs on who and when you should get married to, Like, I'm pretty sure they've talked about this. This is going to make the conversation come up again. I don't know if she wanted to create a positive situation or she was like, if I ever see them, I'm going to tell them this. Like, let them figure it out on their own terms. If they turn 60 or 70 and they decide to get married late in life, let them do it. But for you to be out there, and Bogart interviews is rude in the first place. So you just jumping in there because, It was an opportunity to say something, but it's just like, you know, and this is kind of the problem, like celebrities. You know, sometimes you give them more credit than they deserve. So I guess Ciara claims her new brand is this Russell Wilson prayer and getting Russell Wilson, being a mother to, you know, the children you had before Russell and the children you have with Russell. So I think she's now going to be a marriage kind of counselor type person, but I don't know you like that, lady. Don't pull up on me in an interview and start talking trash. Like, I might just stop you in your tracks and be like, hey, let's have this conversation now off camera, you know, so you don't know me like that. But either way, man, Corey Holcomb once again spitting that real off the cuff, coming at it. And he's got some great points about, you know, what the modern woman is and how they behave in the world, and about how women are a representation of the man that they're married to, that they've chosen, you know, and in their absence, in that man's absence, you should completely keep him in high regard and not dishonor him in any way. And like I said, if he gets into a situation where Jim Jones is at the Giants game and he got to defend your honor, well, now that's something different, you know. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. But either way, let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. If you want to watch more, please watch one of these videos down below. This is Faucette Media.